Speculation about the children has been simmering for years. This crisis won't die down until the irrefutable truth comes out.
Silence everybody and just produce a DNA set.
They sold it like a flawless fairy tale, but what if the biggest twist was hiding in plain sight the whole time? What if the version people believed was never the full picture to begin with? They branded Meghan Markle as this modern Cinderella, but something about her rise just never fully clicked for everyone watching. It looked polished, controlled, almost too perfect. And that's exactly where the questions started creeping in. Because real life doesn't usually line up that neatly. Perfection like that doesn't just happen. It gets crafted step by step behind the scenes.
Tom Bauer, by saying, he said, look, we all laughed at Samantha and she was right. And everything she said has come true. Paying multi-million-dollar PR firms to tell your story the way you controlled it, the way you wanted it told, while you also disparaged and silenced others.
Meghan is using everything for publicity and not really truly there. We know how she treats her family.
And Meghan didn't just enter the spotlight quietly. She took over completely. From her early acting days on Suits to becoming part of the British royal family. Every move seemed bigger than the last. The shift from Hollywood ambition to royal disruption didn't feel gradual. It felt loud, calculated, impossible to ignore. Interviews, public appearances, major announcements, everything hit with impact, and people couldn't look away. Right at the center of it all, Meghan appeared almost strategic in how she presented herself, balancing emotion with control, openness with precision. Every expression felt intentional. Every moment carefully delivered. Even critics admit there's a sharpness there, something highly aware of the spotlight and how to use it. But while that image was building, another voice stayed in the background, watching, waiting, and now speaking out, Samantha Markle, the sister who didn't fade away, who didn't stay silent, and who is now saying this isn't the full story, not even close. And that's where things started to shift. Samantha didn't come in loud or chaotic. She did something far more unsettling. She asked people to look closer. And once that happened, the internet jumped in fast. Timelines got picked apart, public records were revisited, interviews re-examined. Small details that once meant nothing suddenly had people talking everywhere. And once those conversations started, they didn't slow down. Clues. What once looked like a flawless royal image started cracking under pressure, and buried deep inside those cracks was a question that refused to go away. What if the official story doesn't fully match reality?
It's got a whole load worse for Meghan Markle because her sister Samantha ain't going anywhere.
All Harry and Meghan need to do is prove to us that she popped those babies out. And that's all they need to do. And if they don't, it is unfair on the children. It's also unfair on the royal family.
At first, the rumors came in quietly, almost like background noise, but then they got louder. Conversations started picking up about how Meghan Markle and Prince Harry handled key moments in the spotlight. People online began questioning what was shown and what wasn't. There were whispers, especially across forums and social media, raising speculation about details surrounding their family life. Some even brought up surrogacy theories, while others questioned the lack of traditional public moments typically seen in royal history. Important to note, none of this has ever been confirmed, but the conversations kept spreading fast. And just like that, the fairy tale tone started fading. What once felt simple now looked layered, complicated, impossible to neatly explain. Because once you notice those cracks, it's hard to ignore them. Every royal story seems to need a villain, right? That's the pattern people expect. But Samantha Markle didn't follow that script. She didn't disappear into the background, she stepped forward with her own version, calm, steady, and surprisingly consistent. She watched Meghan go from a cable TV actress on Suits to becoming a global royal figure, with a story that appeared smoother and more refined over time. To the public, it felt seamless, almost like destiny unfolding perfectly. But Samantha described something different. Distance, gaps, a past that didn't always align cleanly with the present image, and for a long time she stayed quiet, but silence builds pressure, and eventually it breaks. When it finally did, everything shifted. No dramatic outbursts, no wild accusations, just one line that spread everywhere. Look at the timeline. That was it. And suddenly, chaos online. People started digging deep, comparing interviews, dates, public appearances. Questions popped up about Meghan's 2018 pregnancy announcement, the timing, the details, and especially what wasn't publicly shared. Unlike past royal traditions, there were fewer official-style confirmations or staged hospital moments. Then came the viral clips, the crouching video especially. It spread fast, replayed again and again, with people analyzing every second. Viewers couldn't stop watching, and the conversation only got louder from there.
She's done has only drawn more speculation and brought the controversies back up about how Meghan and Harry have handled all of this, as well as the rumors that perhaps they used a surrogate for one or both of the children.
Royal physician was not allowed to examine her womb. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but if I were pregnant with a royal child, you would want that child in the best care of the best medical practitioners that money could find.
Some people brushed it off instantly, saying it was just fabric, camera angles, lighting tricks, nothing more. Others weren't so quick to dismiss it, and once doubt enters the conversation, it spreads fast, really fast. By 2021, when Meghan Markle and Prince Harry welcomed their second child, the same conversation started circling again. Critics pointed out what they believed was a familiar pattern: limited public details, delayed confirmations, and a level of privacy that didn't just protect, it seemed to conceal. To be clear, the couple has consistently stated they value privacy, especially when it comes to family matters. But online discussions didn't slow down. In fact, they picked up speed. And suddenly, Samantha Markle's earlier comments didn't feel like background noise anymore. They felt amplified. Because now, to some observers, it didn't look random. It looked like a pattern, a puzzle people became completely locked into trying to figure out. Then, just when attention was fully centered on the royal circle, something unexpected entered the mix. A new name, Jill. No public background, no verified identity, just a name and a series of claims that hit online like a shockwave.
A geriatric mother. The family claims and states that Meghan had a hysterectomy. How can a woman with a hysterectomy be pregnant? And most of all, why did the royal family go along with this? And what's going to happen now that this has come out? This is a punishable crime. This is fraud in the highest level.
She didn't position herself as an outsider. Instead, she claimed direct involvement in something deeply personal, which instantly pushed the conversation into more intense territory. It's important to stress, these claims remain unverified, and there is no confirmed evidence supporting them. But that didn't stop people from reacting. According to her statements, everything was handled with extreme discretion. Private medical settings, controlled environments, carefully managed timelines. She described a system designed to keep details tightly contained, not presented like casual gossip, but framed as if it were structured and deliberate. She claimed her role was central, yet completely hidden from public view. And then came the part that made people pause mid-scroll. She said she had proof, documents, records, even ultrasounds, allegedly labeled with coded identifiers rather than names. She pointed to payment trails, timelines, and dates that she claimed lined up with public appearances. Again, none of this has been verified, but the level of detail caught attention. These weren't vague statements, they were specific, layered, and to some, unsettlingly convincing. Then, screenshots started circulating, messages, fragments of communication, references tied to initials instead of full identities. There were mentions of strict agreements, confidentiality expectations, systems built to keep everyone silent. But according to Jill, something changed during the later timeline. Communication broke down, payments allegedly shifted, and the silence she claimed to be bound by, it didn't hold anymore. And when she finally spoke, it didn't just spread, it exploded everywhere faster than anyone expected. Hashtags started trending, debates lit up across every platform, and people didn't just watch from the sidelines, they picked sides instantly. Then came the moment that flipped everything upside down. A direct challenge thrown into the spotlight. Not vague hints, not quiet speculation, a bold public push that made people stop and stare. Just like that, this wasn't just rumor anymore. It turned into full-on confrontation. Because now the question wasn't just, is this true? It became something way bigger. What if it is? The internet completely split down the middle. Some called it brave, others dismissed it as unbelievable. But one thing was clear. Nobody ignored it. And right in the middle of all this noise, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry stayed completely silent. No direct denial, no detailed breakdown, no clear response to shut anything down. Now, to be fair, public figures often choose to not respond to online speculation, especially when it involves private family matters.
Going to realize that she's obviously missing out on a really good, tight-knit family. I mean, we're all still together all the time, no matter what.
All the pictures, my point is, out there were inconsistent with the idea of a real pregnancy.
But that silence didn't calm anything. It fueled the fire even more. Because when answers don't come, people start creating their own. And just as the chaos hit its peak, Samantha Markle stepped back in, but this time not louder, sharper, more focused. She brought up a line connected to her father, Thomas Markle. The truth doesn't fear questions. Simple, but it hit hard, because now the conversation wasn't just about claims anymore. It shifted into something deeper. What is truth when narratives are carefully managed? And who actually decides which version the public believes? This story stopped feeling like gossip and started feeling like something much bigger, something closer to exposure. Behind the scenes, the whispers grew louder because this wasn't just about family tension anymore. It was brushing up against something far more sensitive: tradition, influence, legacy. And that's where things got uncomfortable. Because if any part of this were ever proven true, it wouldn't just shake headlines, it would shake systems. Now the conversation wasn't just about online rumors, it became about something heavier, something people don't usually question out loud. What happens when a centuries-old institution like the British royal family is forced to face modern scrutiny in real time? It wasn't built to handle this kind of pressure, and suddenly everything started shifting fast. The conversation moved beyond timelines and viral clips. Now people were talking about rules, royal rules, the kind that have shaped power, lineage, and legitimacy for generations.
Because there are no delivery certificates.
Duchess of Sussex, no longer HRH, was safely delivered of a son, and she and her child are both doing well. So back to the tradition of putting out a framed bulletin or a gilded easel outside Buckingham Palace after royal births has been going on since 1837, so it's a cool tradition. And George, Charlotte, and Louis' easels listed the doctors' names with signatures, birth weight and time, and referenced the royal family. But Archie's notably only included mention of the Queen and the royal family in the wording, but not on the actual document. And then they omitted the signatures from the doctor's presence, unlike previous notice.
And that's when things took a much heavier turn. Because if even a small part of these claims were ever proven true, or even partially accurate, it wouldn't just be personal drama. It would raise serious questions about how royal succession actually works. And that idea? Explosive. Because now the focus wasn't just on Meghan Markle or Prince Harry anymore. It shifted to the structure itself, the system behind the title. Behind closed doors, the whispers got louder. Legal experts, royal watchers, insiders, everyone seemed to be asking the same thing. How would something like this even be handled? Could modern realities exist alongside traditions written centuries ago? Or would those traditions have to bend, or even break? Public opinion split instantly. Some argued the world has changed, and institutions like the British royal family have to evolve with it. Others pushed back hard, saying lineage isn't something you reinterpret, it's something you protect at all costs. And just like that, the internet turned into a battlefield. Every hour without an official response added more intensity. Panels debated nonstop, comment sections spiraled, and people started analyzing everything: old photos, past interviews, timelines, looking for anything that could confirm or completely shut down the narrative. Supporters of the Sussexes called it a targeted smear campaign, saying the speculation crossed the line into an unfair territory. And to be clear, there is no verified evidence supporting many of the more extreme claims being shared online. But skeptics, they weren't backing off. They kept circling back to the same point: too many unanswered questions.
The Archie or Lily, and it needs to happen. they need to prove that those children, Meghan and Harry, are not entitled to privacy in this matter. And their privacy is trumped by our right to know that no bastard is going to sit on the throne of this country.
But what is she not contextually aware if she's trying to hide something? This is really sloppy.
And right in the center of all this noise, Samantha Markle stayed steady. While everything around her felt chaotic, she remained calm, controlled, almost surgical in how she chose her words. No yelling, no chaos, just statements that landed and stayed with people. Every time Samantha Markle spoke, it wasn't about grabbing attention. It felt measured, controlled, almost like she was letting the weight of her words do all the work. She didn't just defend her claims, she reinforced them slowly, step by step, like someone who believed the truth would eventually catch up on its own. And then she hinted at something that instantly shifted the mood. She wasn't done. Not loud, not dramatic, just a quiet suggestion that there were still layers people hadn't seen yet. And just like that, everyone leaned in closer. Media pressure ramped up fast. Reporters started chasing every possible lead, digging deeper than before. Legal analysts began weighing in too, talking about privacy laws, defamation risks, and the real possibility that this situation could move beyond online debate into something much more serious. Because at this level, words carry consequences. And still, no detailed response from Meghan Markle's side addressing the specific claims circulating online. It's important to note that public figures often avoid engaging with unverified allegations, especially when they involve private family matters. But that silence, people interpreted it in completely different ways. To some, it felt suspicious, like something was being avoided. To others, it looked strategic, a refusal to give attention to speculation. But in moments like this, silence becomes its own message.
They would refuse to kind of show him. They finally kind of showed him off in South Africa. And it was very much, kind of a display. And she went to the polo match. And again, people wondered because it's like, she just didn't, it was a very stiff way she was holding him. It was just looked odd. And you looked at her and compared her to Kate, and you can't help the comparison. And Kate is playing with baby Louis, and he's, kissing her, trying on sunglasses. And Meghan does not even look at Louis at all. And Louis looking at her.
Doctor has come forward and has absolutely revealed, and you're going to listen to her. She has absolutely revealed and confirmed that Rachel Meghan Markle was never pregnant, never gave birth to any children.
Then came a moment that cut through all the noise. A quiet studio, no chaos, no distractions, just one direct question. Did she regret speaking out? Samantha paused, and then she said it, only if the truth stops being the truth. That line didn't just land, it hit hard, because now this wasn't about convincing people anymore. It felt like a challenge, prove her wrong, and suddenly the pressure shifted direction. She spoke about memories that, according to her, didn't match the public narrative, family moments she believed were presented differently than how she experienced them, missed calls, distance, relationships that faded but were later described in another way. The way she delivered it, calm, direct, completely unapologetic, not emotional, not scattered, intentional. She made it clear this wasn't about chasing headlines, it was about what she sees as a story that had been reshaped over time. And then she left it hanging with one final line. History will remember who spoke the truth first. And just like that, it went viral. Whether people believed Samantha Markle or not didn't even matter at that point, because one thing was undeniable: people were listening. The tension didn't fade after that, it tightened. It started to feel less like online chatter and more like a full standoff. On one side, Meghan Markle, quiet, controlled, stepping back from the noise, keeping her distance from the speculation. On the other side, Samantha leaning in, speaking more, dropping hints that there could be even deeper layers still waiting to surface. And behind the scenes, something shifted. Public appearances started looking more calculated. Statements coming from royal-linked sources felt carefully measured, every word chosen with precision, every move watched closely. Because this wasn't just background noise anymore. This was pressure, real pressure.
I lost my father. We knew that she didn't lose our dad. She iced our father. In my opinion, she would still be a waitress if it wasn't for dad.
And then the next holiday card we see, I believe it was the famous Lilibet's born and here's little Archie. And that little kid who's Archie doesn't look anything like the little kid we've seen in the Harry and Meghan documentary on Netflix that we saw. I don't know who that kid was in the picture, or even Lilibet doesn't look like the picture that they've shown of her. Those kids didn't look...
Then came a new wave of whispers that pushed everything even further. Legal action. Not confirmed, not official, but enough to spark serious speculation. Because if this situation ever moved into legal territory, everything would change overnight. At that point, evidence would matter more than opinions, statements would be tested, and narratives alone wouldn't hold up.
It just really kind of boggles the mind. I mean, just for titles, for example. So when Archie was first born, they said they didn't want him to have a title. He was going to be a private citizen. I was like, bravo, you understand. He's not going to be a working member of the royal family. He is going to have to live a normal life, get a normal job. That is fantastic. And then it came out later in the Oprah Winfrey interview. Well, they denied him a title and security because he is a mixed race child. And then it was kind of like, and then later she kind of backtracked.
Like, why lie? It was just so truly, truly bizarre.
Had those things, it would be very easy just to put them out there and say, this is what happened. This is what it is.
Then, finally, a response surfaced. Not direct, not confrontational, but carefully delivered through a source connected to Meghan. Every word felt deliberate, every sentence controlled. The message focused on privacy, dignity, protecting family. And to be fair, public figures often rely on those principles when facing intense scrutiny. But what it didn't do was directly address the specific claims circulating. And that silence, that omission, to many watching, it felt louder than anything else. Supporters called it graceful, critics called it evasive, and just like that, the divide got even deeper. Samantha responded almost instantly, not louder, just sharper, more focused. She pointed directly at what wasn't said and suggested avoiding specifics only raised more questions. And once again, she hinted she was ready to go even further. Now the story is sitting in the most intense place possible, unresolved. Two sides, two completely different versions, and a truth that still feels just out of reach. On one side, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry maintaining privacy and staying measured. On the other, Samantha continuing to push forward, questioning the gaps and keeping the conversation alive. Every silence, every statement, every subtle move keeps people locked in and watching closely. Because this isn't over, not even close. The real question isn't just who's telling the truth, it's this. If the truth finally comes out, will it clear everything up, or will it shake the entire story even more? Because right now, one thing is certain. This isn't just a controversy anymore. It feels like a ticking moment, and whatever happens next could change everything. If you want more deep dives like this, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. And I'll see you in the next one.